Okay, so this is like my 1000th attempt at this video. So I am praying to God I get through it and that I'm going to get it uploaded for you guys. So this is super late, but I hope that it will be helpful to some people in their planning. I actually did a goal getter series of my own based off of just things I normally do at the end of the year, start of the new year. And I use some of the happy planner direction as well. Just overall, just kind of Mod Podge all together to make my own little goal getter series. So we're going to get started. First things first. I actually do a letter to myself at the end of every single year or at the beginning of the year just to kind of condense my thoughts down, get a good idea what I need to focus on going into a new year. So I usually do like a stream of consciousness. So it's not exactly planned or topic oriented. It's just kind of like I let my brain just kind of run. This year I did that and then combined it with bullet points from level 10 life. So it was a really long letter because I was missing a couple things from that list, and it would kind of give me an idea for like a subtopic. I can't think of an example of that. But it would just make me think of something else. And so I would add that as well. And then I went back and edited it and printed it to put in the planner because I thought that'd be kind of handy to have. The reason I really liked this is it helped with the brainstorming. So I did two versions of a brainstorm. I did one that was really sloppy, and then I did one that was super pretty. So this is how the pretty one turned out. So I just used the big Happy Planner grid paper with the pretty border. I didn't get really fancy with it. No stickers, nothing really crazy. I just wanted it to be really clean and simple. No particular reason other than the fact that I'm really trying to minimalize how many stickers and embellishments I use in my planner because I'd rather save them for paper crafting and scrapbooking and things of that nature. So there's that. So with my brainstorming, I would just write a heading, do some bullet points of what that meant to me. And then off to the side, I would make a happy planner to buy list because around the time that I did all this, that was when the new happy planner products were previewing on YouTube and on their Instagram. So we could kind of figure out what we wanted. And I didn't want to unnecessarily buy things I didn't need. So if they had a purpose, then I would automatically kind of put them on there. And it kept me from overbuying when the release happened. Also, I actually tailored back and made some things on my own, which was really great to get rid of some stuff I still had. So just to kind of go through these fairly quickly, and we'll dive into it a little bit more. Getting healthy is a huge thing to me for this year, and I've so far not been so great at it. I'm gonna do a 3-month check-in video after I film this and get it uploaded, so we'll be able to talk about that. But getting healthy is one of my biggest things this year for a lot of different reasons, but I've really neglected my overall health for the last 2 years at least. And so it's time to really get back on the horse and take charge of that. And that needed to be a big thing. So another thing I thought about was reading more. It's something I miss and I love. I love catching up on all my shows. And a lot of the shows I watch are based off books. So just kind of taking some more quiet time, I think would be great. So I listed off some books that I really would like to read. Social media and journaling. So social media is something that is huge to all of us, that paper craft, plan, anything like that. It's huge. And I don't devote as much consistency to it as I should. So I thought about that as a focus. Journaling was more about calming down because my jobs in the past have been very great at keeping me physically active as well as mentally active. The job I'm at now is not as physically active. And while I'm learning, it's very mentally active. But sometimes I'm left here by myself for a very long time. So I get like an overexcited chihuahua when people come in, and it's a little abrasive. So I'm trying to just slow down a little bit because I'm not a big fan of medication solving problems. So journaling and just slowing down a little bit and reading would probably all be really great. Budgeting. So I found this little fun fact while I was just surfing around, I think on Instagram one day, and kept it, and I've kept it posted in here. The sticky should be almost worn off the back of this. I've ripped it up so many times trying to film this video. But nevertheless, 20 to 30% of money is spent for things we can't remember. 67% of people live paycheck to paycheck without a plan, and 88% of people don't know where their money goes. People get twice the result from physically tracking versus digitally tracking and managing their finances. So I thought that was kind of a nifty thing to learn. And so I put it with my little budget section. So budgeting is huge for me for a couple reasons. So I really depleted a lot of my savings funds last year while I was looking for a new job. I am looking into buying a house and pay back some loans from last year. So budgeting is going to be huge. So I threw my little bullet points underneath that, my little to buy list. Reconnecting with family and friends. So I have a tendency to become hermit crab if things are not super great. Especially if too many things are up in the air. I'm trying to focus all my energy into fixing it and getting a plan together, that I neglect family and friends, not in a bad way. I'm just not as social. Like I don't refuse to text them back. I'm just not, I don't go out as much, cause I'm stressed. So just kind of picking up on that became a thought for the year. With my new job, I'm really conscientious of what I can do with that. So I was kind of brainstorming some ideas of what to do and when might be a good idea to start some of those things. So just little headings for that. So getting organized. I have moved twice in the last 2 years, and it was really chaotic. It was a very throw everything in boxes, unpack a little bit, throw everything in boxes, unpack a little bit kind of situation. So it wasn't very organized, and it was, I moved a lot of things that I shouldn't have had to move, that needed to go away, be given away, etc., so on and so forth. So that became a thought for the year too, because I obviously, while I'm looking for a new house, I will at some point have to pack all those things up and move them. And I do not want to unnecessarily move things again. So that was a bunch of stuff too. So that was my little brainstorming page. So Happy Planner came up with this adorably cute goals worksheet, and I couldn't help but love it. And it was a really easy system to follow. So I printed out the For Big Happy Planner, obviously, because I have a big one. You guys just saw my brainstorm. So then you're supposed to narrow it down to 3 things. So getting healthy, getting back on track with the budget, and organizing everything. I think that we can all agree that those are my best 3 choices. Truly and honestly, I felt like the most bang for my buck was out of those guys. So then they ask you to pick a main focus. So I pick health, because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't do the other 2 things. It's just not realistic. So my main focus of health fell into primarily getting up to date on some doctor's appointments and therefore doctor bills, focusing on my Fitbit, meal prepping, planning, calorie counting, that kind of thing, because it's so accessible now. Like you can do that. You can use that Fitbit. You can use MyFitnessPal. You can really utilize these super simple resources. It's just about consistency and the commitment, I found, which sometimes I have a problem with. So yoga, running, and working out, all things I loved and got way off track with. Me time. So just to give you an idea of my schedule. So every day, Monday through Friday, I work 8:30 to 4:30. Anywhere, typically Wednesdays and Thursdays, and now it's getting a little wonky going forward, but there will be some Saturdays and Fridays thrown in there where when I leave my 8 to 4 job, I go to another job. I work part-time for a Pottery Barn. So there's like another 8 to 15 hours a week that are involved in my work week. My boyfriend lives an hour, sometimes in Atlanta traffic, an hour and a half away. So every Friday I drive out there and I drive home every Monday. That's not including if I have to work Pottery Barn. So there's a lot of time that I spend either working or driving or being with him. I love all those things, but I do not take time for myself. Full disclosure. And when I do, it's usually shopping, which stresses me out because it's spending money and I'm trying to budget. So there's a lot to do with that. So I need to make sure that I'm trying to film videos because I love that and I miss being able to do them. This is 3 months overdue, if that gives you any idea. I also have other hobbies that I love that I have no time for. So I'm really trying to assess where I can insert some me time that's beneficial to my mental health. So that became a thing on there too. So my secondary focus is budgeting. Like I said, saving for a house, trying to pay off some debt, things of that nature. So that was definitely secondary. I think that overall, these two goals were the most beneficial to me on a daily basis. Organizing everything is kind of going to get filtered through these and is kind of broken down more on a weekly basis. And we'll talk about that in my 3-month checkup. So that was the nice, pretty goals worksheet page from Happy Planner. It's a free download, super easy to get. So this is my... I don't want to call it a brainstorm page because it really wasn't. It's just breaking down my bullet points, really, really fine-tuning it, I guess, and really breaking them down. If you're a fan of Stephanie, she actually did this, and I loved that she did it, and it helped me a lot too. So like I said, getting healthy is my main focus. So that was doctor's appointment. So what did that mean? I need a dentist appointment badly. Doctor's appointments, and I had a North Atlanta primary care bill that needed to get handled, and I actually just found out there's some lab bills that I need to take care of too, but I would have never known that if I wasn't paying attention. An eye exam, which was crucial because I hadn't had one in quite some time. Understanding weight versus tone. So big picture, right now, as of this morning, I weigh 107 pounds roughly. You're probably sitting at home going, oh my God, go eat a cake, calm down, you're being crazy. I am less than 5 feet tall. I'm 4'10" and a half. I like the half. So that's a little bit different, and I'm very short-waisted. So all those things combined can make for a really nasty combo when you don't eat right and you don't take care of yourself. So I need to understand that I'm not going to lose 30 pounds. I don't want to lose 30 pounds. That's not the goal. But I do want to fit in my jeans more comfortably that I had fit into for years and am now having trouble with. I wanted to feel better in a swimsuit come summer. I wanted to tone. I wanted my abs back and I wanted a shape again. So really being focused on that. I'm debacling and still am between things like Beachbody memberships, Pinterest charts, things of that nature. Getting back into yoga is huge for me, and getting back into running, which it's a perfect time and weather for both those activities to kind of kick up now in March. So we'll see how that goes. Again, a lot of these I will dive into a little bit deeper on a 3-month checkup. And I am going to show you how I set things up from the beginning. And then in the 3-month checkup, we'll talk about what worked and what didn't work and how I'm reformatting. So fun spoiler alerts to come. So habit trackers. Habit trackers and consistency are huge with me and something I'm really not that great at. Sometimes I wouldn't track for like 3 days in the planner. And I think it helps when you see it on a daily basis versus, oh crap, I didn't log for 3 days. Now I feel terrible and let me go full tilt the other direction. So tracking food, workouts, water, and challenging myself with like no sugar, no alcohol, stuff like that. So progress pages at the end of every month. And I copycatted the fitness planner version and kind of modified it to work for me. And I will show you guys that in a little bit. I didn't take any progress selfies, but I think I'm going to have to take one today and just hit a reset. I already talked a little bit about habit trackers with that, but Fitbit trackers. I'm tracking steps, distance, calories, burned calories, intake, hours slept, active minutes, and water every day. I do not track all those things every day. I kind of forgotten that I wanted to track all those things. I do track my steps. I do track my calories, and I do track my water most days. Meal prep and planning. I think it happened for like a week, truth be told. But that's something huge with me, and it's kind of a problem area with no solution right now. My living situation is a little quirky. I don't have enough space in the kitchen to prep, and I don't have enough space in the fridge to really do it either. So I'm trying to tweak it and really figure out how to get my hands around it. So again, more to come in the update. So yeah, there's that. Vitamins and medicine, tracking that every day and getting started on a daily vitamin. And then as we discussed previously, me time. I did have a to buy list. The only thing that I have not purchased are shakes because I'm still trying to decide what shakes I want. So there's that. My secondary focus. So budgeting was the secondary focus, in case anyone forgot. So saving $10,000 and creating a tracker for it and knowing a minimum that I needed to save every single check was crucial. So with Pottery Barn, I cannot tangibly save because I really don't know what I'm going to make sometimes. It's been pretty consistent for the last year. However, it's up and down at various points. So I had to kind of figure out a plan of what to do with that money and how I wanted to budget it. Using my cash. Oh, hold on. So change fund has a question mark. I also save change. I don't spend quarters and I don't spend my change. I don't know why. It's just a quirky thing. My mom never spent quarters. So I guess maybe it spawned from that. So I just don't spend my change and I roll it once the little jar gets full and I just kind of keep going until the end of the year or until like something major happens and I need it. It's like a rainy day fund. It's kind of awesome. So I don't budget it either. Cash versus card. So creating no card weeks and months is something that I really want to focus on. Going to the bank, pulling a credit report and planning a date to go and creating an action plan with one of my bank advisors about my accounts. Because even though I work for an advisor, it's a little bit of a different structure. So I kind of need to go to my bank for that. So major loans. So Gertie last year ran up a really hefty little tab with my stepdad for his dental work, but he is a happy, healthy bunny and it's totally worth any money. So we're trying to decide how we want to split that just for various reasons. Like Gertie will stay with them whenever I move out. It's just the best place and scenario for Gertie. And that's what matters, is not me. It matters about how the kids are. So we're trying to figure out what's the best plan. So my grandparents also helped me out during the transition last year. So getting them paid back was a big thing on my list. Paying off credit card debt and knowing which cards I want to close was also a big thing to me, like cards that I hadn't used in a long time. I didn't plan on reusing and I didn't want that temptation. And then my little to buy list, which you can see I didn't really check anything off. So that's kind of the guts. That's well, maybe not the guts. It's the base. So the first thing I'm going to show you in the planning is this chart that I made for savings. So this was instead of a jar, because I ended up not being able to get the extension pack because some awful person kept taking them for my Michaels. Not stealing them, just buying them out so nobody else could get them, which was annoying. So I just made my own. It's fine. I lived before then and made charts before then. It's fine. So I did one for the big 15K and with a little bit of extra going on later. Some tasks that I wanted to accomplish. And then on the back side, I did like a Pottery Barn thing, to where I would save $100 a month from Pottery Barn checks, which was great. Sorry, I had an itch on my leg, so that's why I got really close and then got back to normal. And then what to do with it at the end of the year, which this is similar to what I've always done, which is split it 3 ways. I won't split the big one 3 ways, but I like the idea of splitting the small one 3 ways. So we're going to go back here, and I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly because my battery's doing some crazy stuff. So what I did was I did a bill list and a task list for every month. And it was okay if things rolled over, which they definitely did. And then I did an expense tracker for January. By the end of January, I kind of realized I didn't have a bill column, so I created one. And the first month, I only tracked things that happened, I think, on my debit cards. I didn't track my credit card because I was like pretty good about not spending, but yeah. So by February, I figured out, tasks were going to roll. Oh, how did I not use the whole back half of that? I'm going to have to fix that. And I did a month at a glance for February, which again, we'll talk about in the checkup video. These little half sheets, these are really handy. And again, I'll talk about that. It was how I kind of budgeted before this year, and it's been super effective. So I like that I've been kind of rolling it over into a new process. And then I did an expense tracker, but that time I tracked credit and debit. And I believe I didn't use any store cards in February that I can recall. I might have used one. It might have been my Victoria's Secret card, to be totally transparent. But I tracked both cards that month, which was great. March, Lord Jesus, I haven't done anything. I was on vacation for a week, prepping for it, and now I'm back. It's a little crazy. So it kind of is not as organized as I would have wanted. This is like, if a train could derail, by God, this train has completely derailed. So big spoiler alert for that update vid. Just saying. One other thing that I created was a credit card debt tracker. So yeah, that's me being fully transparent. Like, y'all, I got to get some of this stuff down. It's a little nuts. But that's a lot. That's a lot for real that I need to get under control. So what I did was I made it a 2-sided little guide. That's why this whole side is upside down, because I wanted to be more cost effective. Please ignore my ugly nails. I took all my polish off this morning. If you see my other hand here, I'll show you. Looks so great. We've got like henna washing off. Looks great. But I just really wanted to be really effective and use all my materials to the best of their ability. And use both sides of the paper and not throw so much away and not embellish so much, and just really keep a hold on that. So this is what I was talking about, the little half sheets. I just folded them into half sheets because they have the opposite month, because like I said, that was the way I used to plan and budget before this year. So I had already pre-planned about 4 months before I set this planner up. And I didn't want to waste the paper because I'd already printed it, and I just didn't want to waste it. So I kept it in there just to keep it. Again, we'll kind of delve into like particulars at month at a glance, because I ended up making this and I condensed it a lot because I didn't need a lot of the things on the list. Like I said, I haven't tracked worth a darn. So I'm going to go back and do some expense tracking tonight and really get this caught up before the checkup video. I just wanted to let you guys know how I'd kind of set up from that Goal Getter series. So I used the first 3 tabs, and these tabs are actually by ARC. I really like the ARC products because they're really clean. They're not super colorful, and they just match everything. It's just a clean look, and I like that. I love neutral. And then this is a for work tab, and this is a personal tab. So we're not going to go in them because we don't need to. And then I just keep 3 months worth of budgeting in the very front. And at the end of this month, I will go back and do April, May, June, I think, or I might just kind of rotate so that I'm constantly filtering a new month in, but able to look back 2 months. So I'm not really sure how I want to do it yet. We'll see what happens. So please stay tuned for a checkup video, and thank you guys so much for being patient through this transition. Another thing, just side note, I do only keep 6 months at a time in my planner, just to keep it from being so bulky. So thank you guys again. I hope this Goal Getter series helps somebody. If you need a little bit of direction, if you're doing that 3-month checkup and things aren't working out for you, hopefully some of my ideas will work for you. And I look forward to doing the update video and my check-in and sharing what I've learned so far and what I'm changing so far. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoy. Happy Monday.